I was watching, this is a big fish. Whoa! G'day everyone, today I've made my way to Lake Nillahcootie for my first Yellowbelly fishing trip of the season. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now as you can see, Lake Nillahcootie isn't quite full, it's at 82%. Now I said that this is my first Yellowbelly trip of the season, but for the record there's no actual Yellowbelly season. You can catch them all year round. They just don't bite very well in the cold weather. Today's the 3rd or 4th of September or something, so it's the first trip of the warmer season. I'm going to have 2 rods, both with Jan-Jack worms. This one's going to have a paternoster rig, and the longer rod's got a running sinker rig. I'm a little bit disappointed because I have actually got some small yabbies at home, and I forgot to bring them. I was fishing somewhere else recently, and I was going to take them and forgot. Now I've forgotten them again. The poor old yabbies just keep getting left behind. Now the running sinker rig, it can go out a bit further. I'm a little bit worried about the wind. It's meant to be coming from the west, but it's coming from the southeast. It just means if it does gust a little bit, there could be some waves washing in. It'll just make it a bit tricky to detect nibbles. Although, it's not meant to get too windy, just a little bit gusty. There's my setup for the next few hours. I've carried my chair in. I had to hike in, so I've carried my chair and a jumper. My bucket, but I haven't got my orange chuckle box. I've just thrown a few hooks and sinkers and a few other odds and ends in the bucket there. My worms. An Esky or my time-lapse camera, which I haven't set up yet. A good camera in case I get a good fish that I want to get a photo of. And my lines, which are both in. I've got them both a little bit downwind so that the breeze coming from that way doesn't put too much slack in the line. I better set this time-lapse camera up. Well, that looks about okay there. It won't be a very exciting time-lapse unless a few clouds or something blow over. It's a pretty bland sky. Unless a pelican or something comes and sits right in front of the camera, I might not even use this time-lapse because there's not much movement in it, but we'll set it up and just see what happens. Just had a nice bite on a little stumpy rod. I was watching it. I was thinking, is that the wind or is that a bite? There it goes. It's just gone really slack. Look. Something's picking up the slack, something's picking up, is it a carp? And got him! Is it a carp or a yellow? Hopefully it's a Yellowbelly. That's the whole idea. It doesn't feel overly big. I reckon it could be a Yellowbelly, you know. Or if it's a yellow, it's going to be a good one. Oh, it's looking a bit carpy. It's looking a bit carpy. Starting to look very carpy. Hang on. Still unconfirmed. No, it's confirmed. It's official now, it's a carp. I haven't got my landing net because I had to hike in, but that's okay. Plenty of room to beach them here. I'm on the board. Well, about to be. That's quite a big marlin. Big mud marlin. Right, I'm gonna get a photo of you, mate. I'll get a photo of you before I dong you on the head. That meant to scare you. I'll give you a wash first. Shit, my other rod, look. I could hear the drag. I was watching that carp. I was watching, this is a big fish. Whoa. Look, I'm waiting this fish. Am I still recording? I am. That fish is out of the water. I want to put it out of its misery. There's a lot of weight on the end of this other line here. Look, I was going to get a photo of this one, but I'm not going to worry about it now. Right, I'm going to have to do this with the hook still in its mouth. Don't look. Right, that fish is in a better place. Right, what have we got here? I'll have to land this, which I'm assuming is going to be a big carp. I'm puffed. I'll have to land this away from that other fish because that's going to be deemed as graphic content after what I just done to it. If I sound puffed, there's a reason for that. It's because I am. I was just in the middle of washing the dirt off that carp and I heard this like a drag. If it wasn't for my U-Butte Simon Humphrey fishing rod holder, this rod would have got pulled in the drink then. I've got to be very careful which way I face my camera. because I don't want this other carp to end up... I'll just take my camera off my head while I look at this other fish. Yeah, no, that's very graphic. We don't want that on camera. It's a big fish. It's a bit gross. I just sort of stomped on it, but if you could see it now, even though it's gross, it's dead. And I feel better inside in my heart knowing that that fish is dead. It's not just struggling to breathe out of the water. That was cool. Gee, I'm thankful for that fishing rod holder. That saved my fishing rod so many times. I usually put links to everything that I use in the video description below, and I'll do that again now, including that rod holder. But it is a link to an Instagram page. Simon Humphrey, he doesn't have a website or anything. He's not on Facebook. He's got an Instagram page, and that's the only place you can track him down. If you want one, you'll have to find him on Instagram, or if you haven't got Instagram, get one of your kids to do it, or your friends, or or something else. Use a stick. Righto. Monster mud marlin. I reckon that's about a 60. And if you don't get wet and dirty, I'm going to get a photo of you. I'm going to go get my good camera. Stay there, stay clean. Right, I'll go and get my camera. Wow, what a commotion that was. And then I ended up taking the photo with my phone anyway. I went to get my good camera. Little thing comes up on the screen and says, no card in camera. There is a card in the camera. It's got dual card slots, but it's programmed to record to both card slots. Because one's missing, it wouldn't work. I've got to go in and go into the settings and set it to choose slot A or slot B or something, whichever one has got a card in it. Right, hey, that was cool. A daily double. Just had another bite on Stumpy. It's only been in for about 2 minutes. While I was catching them fish, I had a text message from Holly, and I just went to read it, and before I even had a chance to read it properly, I started getting another bite. I'm going to eat the Yellowbelly tonight. I can feel it. I reckon I might catch a few carp now, but I reckon at some point I'm going to get a Yellowbelly, and hopefully it's a legal sized one. Right, I've got my Fuji, my XT5. I've got to go into the menu. I've got to go into the little spanner icon, then card slot setting, and then sequential. So it records in card 1 and then card 2. If you have separate, it doesn't work. You need one in each card slot, and if you have backup, you need one in each card slot. So sequential it is. Switch memory card slot automatically when one becomes full. Well, one's not there, so it's automatically going to switch. Never had to knock on wood. Though I know someone who has. They shared the impression that I get. Never had to knock on wood. Now I'm getting a bite on the running sinker rig. There it goes. Only a real small little nibble. I like that. Got him. I was going to say small little nibble might be a smaller species of fish rather than a big mud marlin, but I'm pretty sure that I've just hooked up to another mud marlin here. Gee, the carp are on the bite at the moment. Wow. I'm not taking my eye off this other rod because it had a little nibble a minute ago as well. Yep, that's another carp. Gee whiz, this is Carp Central at the moment. I'm going to pass this under here and hope it doesn't get off. Gee, it's fat. That's another quite big carp too. Right. That carp's bent. It's deformed. It's got a really weird kink in it. What on earth has happened to this carp? Check this out. I've never seen a carp like this. Have a look at it. I'll drag it up here. Check out its tail. What on earth is wrong with that carp? Look. It's a kinky carp. All its scales are really close together in there. That's bizarre. Strangest carp I've ever seen. Because the fish are biting so well, I'm just going to recycle those worms for now, because I am getting a bit low. I want to make sure I've got plenty later on during the magic hour. This line's had a bite. It's gone really slack and it's facing the completely wrong direction. I want to go and get one of them carp and throw it down the bank there further for the pelican over there. What's all happening? What's happening with this rod? What's it doing way out there? Is there a fish on it? What is going on here? There is a fish on it. No, it's wrapped around something. It was over there. While I was dealing with that crooked carp and getting a photo of it, something's picked the line up and swam way over here with it. It's all happening. Yes, pelicans out there making all kinds of noises. Just had a nibble on the running sinker rig on those second-hand worms. I just had a bite on the running sinker. There it goes. He's on there. He's about to be on there. Got him. That's quite a carpy looking bite. It's not fighting like a carp. Carp swim around a lot. This is sort of just staying in one spot, but it's starting to cut loose now. Wouldn't it be great if it was about a 50 centimetre yellowbelly? But I saw a big boil. I think it's another carp. It's certainly bit like a carp. It's got carp feels. This is on the second-hand worms. Yeah, that's why it's got carp feels. Can't believe the carp tonight. I suppose when I'm over here, a lot of the time I'm using lures when I'm trolling, or if I'm in the boat with Dad, we're using little yabbies and stuff, and we catch the odd carp. But in the winter I catch a carp over here, but this is, yeah, I wasn't expecting this. I thought maybe one or two carp. I still reckon I'm going to get a yellowbelly later on though. I do have to keep my eye on that other rod while I'm doing this. Well, beach yourself, mate. Thanks. Then it's a big fish. It's so fat. So fat. I won't worry about it. Oh, well, I'll get a photo. I've got that many photos. They look the same after a while. Get a quick pic. Like that. Right, I've got one fresh worm on and a couple of old worms. Those old worms have already caught 2 carp. I'm worm rations. Right, all is calm. It's time to catch my breath. It's been pretty full on since I got here. I reckon that as it starts getting later, there's a fair chance that these carp might turn into yellowbelly, or possibly even a Murray cod. And I've got to tell you, if I catch a legal sized cod tonight, I'm going to take it home and eat it. I don't keep a lot of cod, but I will keep them out of a stocked waterway. And now, for those that don't know, Lake Nillahcootie no longer has a closed Murray cod season. The cod season up at Lake Eildon up there has been was removed probably 5 or 6 years ago. But this year, the cod season has now been removed from Lake Nillahcootie, Curran and Lake Eppalock as well. And that's because the Murray cod aren't spawning in here. If they are, it's not very much, because if they were spawning really well, fisheries wouldn't need to stock tens of thousands every year, or hundreds of thousands in the case of Lake Eildon. So because we're relying on fish stocking and not natural recruitment, it was deemed that there's no need for a closed season, so the season has been lifted. So we can, if you catch a cod in Lake Nillahcootie now in the middle of October or November, or September in this case, you're allowed to take it home as long as it's in that 55 to 75 centimetre slot limit. And remember, it's 2024. Next year could be different rules. Rules change all the time. But as I sit here, it's 55 to 75 centimetres. There's 2 pelicans out here, right? I've got 3 dead carp behind me and one up the bank there a bit further that I threw up there for them before. But they won't come near them. Funny things. A funny old bird is the pelican. His beak can hold more than his belly can. He can hold enough food in his beak to last him a week, and I don't know how the hell he can. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Nice bite on the little stumpy rod. Just pulled it and went bang, straight on. Could it be a cod? I'm going to guess it's another carp. It's not a big fish. It's a smaller fish. It's a yellowbelly. I'm pretty sure it's a yellow. It's a yellow. I've caught me first, or I'm about to catch me first. It's a silver. It's a silver perch. It's nearly legal size. They've got to be 30 centimetres, and I reckon that's close to a legal size silver. But I think I'll put it back anyway, but that's so cool. I am so excited. Dude, they're hard to photograph. Look at that. Look at that. They twist like a banana. Now, mate, if you don't want to just relax and just straighten yourself up a bit, I want to take you. I can't get a good photo of you like that. I'll have to get one like that. Lake Nillahcootie, silver perch, eh? The bent fish. I'm trying to straighten it up with my fingers, but it's not having a bar of it. Mate. I reckon that's pretty close to the minimum size of 30 centimetres, but I'm not going to keep it. Nor am I going to put my camera under the water for a slow motion release, because I've got to put that wet head strap back on my head and the temperature is dropping like a stone. Silver perch, see you later, mate. Oh, that was cool. Well, that's my second ever Lake Nillahcootie silver perch. I'm just loving the fact that there are silvers in this lake now. And it's something different, an extra species you can catch. You are allowed to keep them out of here, provided they're over 30 centimetres. Here in Victoria at the moment, and as once again, laws change all the time, so make sure you check before you go out. But here in Victoria at the moment, silver perch are protected in rivers and creeks, apart from the Wimmera Basin. But you're allowed to keep them out of lakes as long as they're 30 centimetres long. I really hope that these stupid pelicans just come and hang out in front of my time-lapse camera here for a while. It's going to be a pretty boring time-lapse without any clouds in it, so if the pelicans could just go and do some circles or something out there, that'd be much appreciated. I was just looking at my phone and I lifted my head up to have a look at my lines, and look at how slack that's gone. It's gone really, it's like a drop bite, we call that. There's something grabbed it and swam towards me with it. There's nothing there. I'll leave it there. I've moved it probably only a metre or so from where it was, but something had picked that up and then just swam towards me with it.
Access granted.
Oh, I was just about to say, the fishing's gone quiet, and then I just had a really big bite. I was just about to reach up and hit record and say, gee, the fishing's gone quiet. And I was going to say, that stupid pelican, there's a carp just over there that it could be eating. I was just about to say, gee, the fishing's gone quiet. This hasn't come to the surface. I reckon it's a carp. I'm holding on to hope that it's not, but the way it's going all the way up there tells me that it probably... Oh, yeah, it is. I thought it might have been a yellowbelly for a minute then. It's not as big as the others. Perfect size for that pelican. I'll dong it on the head and I'll feed it out there to the pelican and see if he's got more. Maybe the other ones are just too big for it. Right, I'll fix this up. I'll deal with this guy, then hand it over to the pelican. Hopefully this doesn't sink. Hey, pelican. far as I can throw it, mate. The bubbles here, there's a cormorant. Right in, there he is. He just came up right in front of me. I think he got a fright when he saw me. Oh, that's funny. I heard a noise and I looked up. Here comes another one. They were over there near that carp that I've got on the edge of the water that I put there earlier for the pelican. And I looked over and he went under and he came up right here and got a fright. On your bike, go, go, go. You scare me fish away. Gone. That'd scare anything away, that would. Well folks, I didn't catch my first Yellowbelly or Golden Perch of the season, but I did get second place and I got silver. A lovely Lake Nillahcootie silver perch and a heap of carp that were fun to reel in, but I've got to tell you, the Twilight bite window was dead as a doornail, very disappointing. But overall, I've had an awesome afternoon, very relaxing. Thank you all very much for watching.